Welcome. Okay. Thank you for joining me. If you're here, if you've gotten this video sent to you, it's probably either because I value your feedback and I value hearing from you and what you think about my meditation style. Also, or maybe I just wanted to share it with you. Totally depending. So this is today's kind of overall, talk or hang is gonna maybe be like 17 to 20 minutes long. It's about meditation, right? I'm reading this book called How to Meditate by Pema Chodron. I think that's how I would say her last name. She was a Buddhist nun. I'm not sure if she's passed on. I need to actually look that up. But it's basically a guide to making friends with your mind and learning all about your relationship with meditation. So I want to kind of design this meditation today in a sense of thinking of like the element, I think of water. That's the one that's kind of coming up for me. I'm in South Padre Island right now for my 34th birthday, and we are at the beach, right? And the water has a really fun way of humbling you, and I'll get to that in a minute, but I feel that water is a really big thing, right? And a really big element that's supportive to change, to movement, to being flexible, to flow through things, to flow through life, all that kind of stuff. So my current relationship with meditation is that I meditate like a few times a week, really hardcore, where I'm like seated and actually trying to meditate and being like, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. And I've learned lately to just kind of be like, oh wow, interesting, okay, that's what my brain is doing, and not getting so judgmental of myself and of my space in my brain, and kind of like just noticing what I'm thinking, right? And when I'm talking about meditation, I'm actually talking about like directly seated in a comfortable tall posture. Eyes can be open and just slightly kind of off to the ground so that you still stay kind of aware and awake. It's like wakeful meditation. It's not like a meta meditation or like a nidra where you're laying down on the floor and like falling asleep, basically covered in blankets and like in and out of reality. This is more like a wakeful meditation. So I've been noticing the different challenges that come up will be like noises or different feelings in my body. And then a big one that I had was like a lot of fear coming up. That was interesting to me, is a lot of fear coming up. And I noticed that I gravitate towards like emotional stuff. There was some bitterness in there. There was some different gratitude spaces. There were some big blank spaces where I just kind of zoned out and was like, oh, whoa, what was I doing here? And like came back to reality, judging myself a little bit, and then kind of flowing in and out of like being calm and not. And then a lot of the practices that I do daily, that I feel like I notice I'm being more mindful in, or like being in a more meditative state, is like when I'm reading, maybe during when I'm doing massage, because I'm a massage therapist, so when I'm working on folks, and then sometimes when I'm just like doing just a hangout with my son or something, just go into this sort of like meditative, spaced out sort of state. So for this meditation today, for what we're doing, pick a quiet spot, something that you can kind of have uninterrupted time. Come in and out of, be able to come in and out of a space and use it every time. Maybe even finding the same type of space is good. Putting like a candle, maybe some incense, something like that, and just like a physical way to signify to your brain that like this is my safe space for meditation, right? Try to practice at the same time every single day, and then set a timer. So let's settle into your seat. Find a comfortable seat. I've already started off in Sukhasana, which is easy pose. As they say, right? Easy pose. But you can also find like You know, if this posture feels good to you. If it doesn't, you can find something else. You can grab like a block and set it under your bottom so that you can be kind of tilted with your pelvis forward. And by doing that, you'll be like uplifted and you'll be tipped a little bit more forward. So move the flesh away from each one of your glute muscles, right? Exhale, take a big breath right off the bat, right? Let's think of water, think of the ocean, think of how water can be really crazy and really rocky and really like just problematic. It can also be still and calm. It can be really invigorating. It can be like powerful. Like water can be so many things. And thinking today in our brains, let's try to sort of like embody a state of like letting all these thoughts kind of pass in and out like they're just flowing down a river, right? Thinking of the ocean, how it's like, you know, crazy and then sometimes still and soft. Here in South Padre, I was learning that sometimes in the morning the waves are crashing harder, and like 2, 3 in the afternoon they're way more chill. So in the morning we got beat up by the ocean and like I nearly drowned and it was insane. And then we came back, we came back in the house and we're like, whoa, let's make a hamburger and like chill out. And then after that, we go back out and it was so cool and so chill. And I was like, unbelievable, ocean mama, you know, like really owned me earlier. So thank you for that. And thanks for the blessing, you know. And then I kind of settled back into that like different space the ocean was at. So let's try to be like water, like the ocean, be like various waves coming in and out. And we're going to notice different things in the brain. I'm going to say that my little guy might wake up and come out here. Who knows? We will play around with that when we come to it. So once you settle in, check in with your posture, okay? No big deal. Anything that happens today is just no big deal, okay? Anything that happens in our time, it's just we're gonna kind of flow like little ocean waves. So kind of pretend that there is a long cord just drawing from your spine on upwards. You've moved the flesh away from your glutes. You're in a comfortable position. You can have your hands palm down for grounding down, palm up for receiving. So if this is morning and you want to get really like worked up and you kind of want to wake up a bit and you want to energize, put your hands face up. If not, just put them face down. Letting the hands soften, let your elbows drop. Let the glutes come in contact with the earth. And let's gently pull our belly button into our spine. And so it sort of tucks under a little bit with the pelvis. But still letting your spine come up tall and then letting your chest relax, but still stay upwards. So not like a big hunch forward, just upwards like this. Take a big breath. And as you exhale, you can either close eyes or you can do the gaze where you just kind of pull the gaze somewhere like about 3 feet ahead of you. Up to you what you want to do. I think that in Pema Chodron's book, the nun I was mentioning, she talks about staying awake and keeping the eyes up here. I actually don't usually do meditation like that. I usually close my eyes. So this is new for me to just like stare openly off into space. So I'm learning about that, right? But it's not about trying to throw anything away that's in your brain or like get rid of yourself. You're trying to actually tap into yourself and befriend who you already are. And like when we sit with ourselves, we actually discover more about who we are. Kind of like me at the ocean. I discovered more of like, oh, well, the ocean's like this in the morning and then she's kind of like this in the afternoon. Like she is a bit like you know, like an emotional sort of element. She's a bit intense. So let's find our gaze kind of somewhere out about 3 feet or so out in front of us, and just start to notice. Just start to notice. Let's feel into how the stomach feels. How is your torso? Do you feel the side body being really shut down? Do you feel there's opening? Do you feel fullness? Do you feel hunger? Are the muscles feeling okay, holding up like this? Noticing the rising and falling of the abdomen from your relaxed state of breath. And already, if your mind is starting to wander, just reel it back in and say, interesting, and then have it come back to you. eyelids. Notice how our eyelids feel. If it is really hard for you to stay focused in one spot, if you want to keep looking around, if you're wanting to look up at me, if you're wanting to move around the room, if the eyes want to close, shut, blink. Feel the muscles in the face. Relaxing your jaw just enough for the mouth to slightly part. Almost unnoticeable that your mouth is open. Not a huge mouth breathing situation here, just sort of lightly letting the lips part. Tune into the parts of our legs that are on the ground, on our mat, on our bed, on our chair, wherever you find yourself today. Are the legs feeling heavy? Are they feeling soft? Are they needing something soft? Are you starting to float up and away from your body? Are the legs feeling really good with your hands on the tops of them? They're feeling very welcoming. Home. You feel home. You feel warmth. You feel strength. Imagine yourself being filled with the water element, allowing waves of the ocean to start in the legs, right around the hips and waist, and they're sort of flowing down through the thighs, the knees, into the ankles. With waves, they're softening, flowing into the feet. The waves are creeping up your spine. They're lapping at each vertebrae. Sort of tickling with a soft hydrotherapy style. They're working their way through every little tissue of the spine until the waves have kind of come to the base of your skull. Base of the skull, it's like it's holding your head, supporting your neck. You're able to lay the head back a little bit. Your head is being held and supported by the waves. Much like when you're in a bathtub and you lay your head back on something, or maybe in like a little floaty in the pool. Water. Think of the base of your skull just being supported by water. It's flowing around either side of your neck, coming up towards the back of the ears, and like letting just the whole weight of your head drop backwards. Your shoulders and the backs of your arms, sort of by your armpits, side body, all through there just feels really good, nice and heavy and relaxed and releasing. You feel relief. releasing, so much so that your arms, elbows, forearms, hands, and fingers just become a little heavier on the thighs. Don't clench the teeth. Don't bite down to the jaw. Release the mouth. Release the eyebrows. Release the glutes. Don't squeeze with the glutes. It's no big deal. Thoughts in the brain flowing in and out. Start to move your fingers, move your toes, roll the shoulders backwards, 3 big circles, roll the shoulders forward, big circles with the shoulders, switch out legs, cross legs, move legs a little bit, readjust, kind of bending or bowing forward just slightly, not all the way. Let your head drop all the way down to where you're looking down into your lap with eyes at this point either closed or slightly open, whatever works for you. Notice the body, notice the times that you felt like you could embody that water element and that element of the ocean, the feelings of the ocean. Did your torso become tickled by the waves? Did the base of your skull feel supported, like you were on a floaty? Did you notice how many times your brain and mind went to something that was distracting or starting to judge? Notice different feelings in the body. Notice the way this meditation felt for you today. let's bring our hands into a mudra that holds, like you're holding something out, like a gift. You're giving, your hands are open, or you're receiving. You'd like to just cradle something. Imagining that your hands are filled with sand. And if you'd like to be receiving, that you are holding your hands out for somebody to fill your hands with sand. Gaze is just off a little ways, but you can still see your hands in the forefront of your mind here. Bring the hands up a little higher, and now closer towards the face, and say, I receive. Eyes can come closed as you take a big breath. I give. I love. I receive. I give. And I love. Receive any goodness that's for you today. Give any goodness that's for others today. And love everybody you come in contact with. Love yourself, love others, love the ocean even when she throws you around. Receive the lesson from the ocean. Give back to the ocean. Take the hands and act as if you're just dumping that sand all down your chest. Let the hands end at the abdomen, just holding palm down against your belly, and bow forward in a gesture of gratefulness, gratitude. You can open your eyes and come up present and come up center. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for spending the time with this little brief meditation. I hope that you were able to embody some of that ocean feeling in the body, some of the water element. I would love feedback on how you felt this was for you, how you felt the element was able to kind of be included for you today. And then, yeah, anything you noticed, like in the environment, any type of experience is welcome, right? So anything that kind of that happened or was received for you, I would love to hear about that. I would love feedback for you. I did a meditation right before this and literally burst into tears at the ending. So tell me what happened, what came up for you, what thoughts. I'd love to also know what distractions came up for you. Anything from my space here or anything from your space or your environment. Talk to me about that. And again, thank you for doing this with me this morning, this afternoon, this evening, wherever you are. I have so much gratitude for you for spending this time with me. Thank you.